everybody. I'm Debbie Davis, and we are at my friends Dawn and Alice's home here in Carmel, right next to the lagoon. It's a special night. It's August 29th, 2020, and we are celebrating the anniversary of me writing my song, Living Her Dream, 20 years ago. And it was exactly 20 years ago today. Because if you recall the first line in my song, it says she'll be 47 young in 25 days. So 25 days from today is my birthday, and that's the day I wrote my song. So I'm very excited to tell my story about how this song came to be. And everything that was in between that led up to this. So we're actually going to go on a journey of the past, well, gosh, it started back when I was a little girl. But I'm going to go through some of the songs that I did when I was first starting off and the first time I sang in public. And a lot of you know that story if you've been to the Cypress Inn and heard me tell my story occasionally. So grab your glass of wine or your water or your soda pop, whatever it is that you're going to sip on tonight while you enjoy the show. Invite your friends, start a watch party. Say hello. Lisa is here with me tonight. Tristan and Sonia are still in San Jose, but I'm sure they're going to chime in here and there. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and I think it's going to be a real fun night. I've got lots of information and songs that you've never heard me do, so because they're back from when I first started singing and knowing that this is what I wanted to do. So I think it's probably 6 o'clock now, is it, Lisa?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and I'm going to wait to start the story for a few minutes so that we know that a lot of you are on. I don't know if you see anybody on right now, Lisa, do you?
Yeah, we have Francis who says you look beautiful.
Thank you, Francis. I wore red shoes for you, honey. Could you move your, I can't understand you. Yeah, thank you. And is Francis the only one here right now?
No, we have Kim and Stefan in PA. We have Charles Chin and families all saying hi.
Hi guys, hi Maria, Charles, Stephen, and Kim. And Stephen, congratulations to you too. It's a very special day for you, and so very proud of what you've done. So keep up the good work, and I'll do your song Harvest Moon in a little bit in the show. And is that it?
We have Trish from Pebble Beach.
Hey,
we have
Trish.
Joan Lathrop. Hi, Debbie. We have Charlene Hackbarth. And people are just chiming in.
Okay, good. So
Okay.
we have a couple of birthdays that we will be celebrating. Susan Sullivan, whose birthday was yesterday, and Maria Genova from Bulgaria, whose birthday was yesterday. So we'll be singing happy birthday to them. She's watched, a lot of you have watched every show, which tonight is our 25th live virtual show. So we did 20, let me see, I've got it written here. We did, our first show live was at the Cypress was on March 22nd, and we did 14 shows from the Cypress. And then from there, we started the at home and on the road show, which we've been doing for the last 10 weeks. So, and this would make the 11th week, correct? Yeah. It's been an amazing time for me. So much has gone on over these few weeks and months, I should say. You know, what started off to be that we would think it was only going to be a couple of months or so is now gone into what? How many months? 6 months? 7 months? I know what I do know is that it's almost Christmas. Yeah. So it's like, oh my goodness. We've built this incredible community with all of you who have joined us each and every week. those fortunate to be with us live tonight, Bill and Terry and Rob and Diane, and Allie,
Emily, Casey.
and Casey, and then Dawn and Alice. We have people now and then, sometimes it's only just the moderators and me, but it always feels like we have a whole room because of all of you out there, and I thank you for that. So I think I'm going to start. How are we doing as far as anybody else?
Oh, we
good?
Yes.
Okay, so let me see. I don't have that right there.
There you go.
I'm gonna pull up my chair so that I can talk just a little bit. As you all know, I've been singing all my life. I've told you that many times. I've truly known since I was a little girl that I wanted to sing. It's truly a gift. My mom was very much into music, and I was the youngest of 5 children. I have a twin brother, but he's still 30 minutes older than I am. So that still makes me the youngest. And we always had music in the home. My mom, I'm sure a lot of you remember the Columbia House, where you get new records every month. She belonged to that, and of course back then we had 45s and LPs. So every month there were new records, and they go back from, the 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s, and Mom kept music in our home always. And then my older brother and sister, Mary and Larry, they also, Mary was 10 years older than me, so she was in a different music genre than me. But because I was the youngest, I liked them all. And my mother's favorite music was country. And she is the one who introduced me to Patsy Cline. And Patsy Cline, of course, as you all know, was my idol. And I guess I should have my microphone so you can hear me better. I didn't even think about that.
So as the first song tonight I'm going to do will be Crazy. Crazy, I've often said that if I could only sing one more song and I could never sing again, that song would be Crazy. It started what I do today. I listened to Patsy Cline up to the day that she died, which was in 1963. And when I started going around and singing here and there with whoever would let me, that would always be my go-to song. The first song I ever sang with Gennady was Crazy at the Mission Ranch. When I went to Nashville, Tennessee, I got to sing Crazy in the Ryman Auditorium when I went on a tour. I sang at the same spot on the stage, a cappella, where I used to watch Patsy Cline sing Crazy and all of her other wonderful songs. So Crazy is a very, very special song for me, and I think I'm going to start off tonight with that song. It seems more appropriate considering that it's just the one song that has always started me singing with whoever I was going to sing with. And with Patsy Cline being my favorite female all time, as far as she'd be number one. There's also, Karen Carpenter and Etta James and so many others, but she was my first. So tonight we're going to start off with Crazy and go on from there. Lisa, how are we doing with who's checked in?
We have Karen Bradshaw Smith.
Oh, hey, Karen.
We have Lulu, Tom, and Gracie from Buffalo.
Yay!
We have your grandson, McKay.
Hey, McKay!
We have Rosemary O'Brien from Walnut Creek.
Walnut Creek,
We have
yes.
Tina, John, and Pops.
Yay!
We have Bill Costello from the Buckeye State.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to say go Penn State. We always banter back and forth together. We have Sharon Wallace White from Placerville.
Oh, hey, Sharon. Is Jackie on?
Valerie's on.
Okay, hey Val.
Bill Sparkman. The
Oh,
yes.
okay, Bill's there, then we
Yes.
can proceed since
Yes.
Bill's on, right?
Yes.
Is that correct, Bill? Isn't that what he said
That's
last
what he
week?
said last week.
He's on so we can proceed.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to know. Okay, now we can start the show because Bill Sparkman is here in the house. Okay, so we're going to start tonight off with Crazy. Thank you, Mom.
Can we turn up the volume a little bit?
Sure. Everything?
Yes, I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
because they can't hear?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, right here. What am I doing? Is that better? Let us know. How about if I start the music and then, did Bill tell you that it wasn't quite enough?
Bob and Kelly.
Bob and Kelly, okay.
I'm sure Bill will chime in soon.
I'm sure he will. Okay, here we go. We'll start with the music and then you can tell us how the sound is. Thank you all for joining us. It's going to be a fun evening, and we will probably run a little bit later than usual. Crazy, I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you love me as long as you wanted, and then someday you leave me for somebody new. Worry, why do I let myself worry? Wonder what in the world did I do? Oh, crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for crying, crazy for trying, and I'm crazy for loving you. That's Gennady you hear on the piano in this track. It's going to be wonderful when we can get back to the Cypress and do this live with him present. If you're out there, Gennady, we love you and we miss you. Right, Bill and Terry?
And Allison, and John, Robin, Diane. Is the sound better?
Yes.
Worry, why more love than you. Thank you. Okay, so we have Thor from Phoenix and Steve Bellavance. I'm so glad that you're home now, and I hope everything is good around you. Steve was evacuated from his home last week due to the fires in Carmel Valley. Diane, good to see you there. I hope Rena is feeling better. Valerie, how are you and your refrigerator doing? You know, people were thinking that you ran off with that last week. So, anyway, you were not forgotten, and we are glad you're with us. And so, I'm going to sit off and on tonight because I'm telling a story. And I'm going to get my notes here. So that song, as I said, was, not only was it the song that my mom introduced me to, that it's the song that I first sang with Gennady. It's also the song I sang in the country band with Tommy Hayes in Bakersfield, and of course at the Ryman. So it started off my singing when I was in church. I grew up in the Church of Christ, and it was all a cappella. I remember the one moment that I do remember is when I was about 8 years old, and my granddaddy was leading the music that night, or that morning. And I was in the front pew, and we were singing, and it could have been, who knows what song it was. It could have been In the Garden. It was one of the old gospel hymns that go back forever, the cherished ones. And I was singing loud and clear, because my granddaddy was leading, you know. So I remember walking out onto the porch afterwards, and my mom was standing there. And one of our, I think it was, in that church they called them brother and sister, so Brother Blackaby came and said to my mom, "Wow, that little girl's got quite a voice." And she said, "Thank you." And I'm going, was he talking about me? And I thought, wow, okay, cool, because I sang every song, and I already knew then that I wanted to sing. Nothing ever came of that as a little girl. I just would sing, being the youngest, my mom being a single mom with 4 kids. There was a lot going on in our home. And what she did for us kids to keep us off the street and keep us busy was start us in roller skating. So I roller skated, dance and figure competitively from the time I was probably, 8, 9 years old. I quit skating when I was 6 months pregnant with my oldest daughter. Decided it was probably not a good thing to be doing. During my roller skating days, we did our pro, Tom Pano, he put on a event that was called Holiday Follies. So it was like the Ice Capades or the Ice Follies that we used to go to see. And so we would have our club do many different acts. They did Yellowbird, was it Yellowbird? Yellowbird high up in the banana tree or something like that. Me and My Shadow, Alice in Wonderland, and they did a dance from The King and I. Well, my sister played Anna, and she did the waltz with whoever her partner was to Shall We Dance. Well, my mother bought that album, and it had the beautiful big blue dress that Deborah Carr wore in the movie, and she made it for my sister. Well, what she did for me by buying that album was gave me music. And I remember, and I was 8 years old then, maybe almost 9, and I loved every song on the album, King and I. And by the time the show was completed, I knew every song on there. And it just went on from that. Then when I was in the 7th grade, I did a talent show, but it was lip syncing. And I was doing it with a girlfriend of mine, but she dropped out, so I had to do it by myself. And it was a song by the Beatles. So I was up on stage and I was singing and just lip singing. So that was my next introduction to on stage. Let me tell you this about Tom Pano before I go on. I really credit a lot of my showmanship or my presence or how I present from Tom Pano. Because I was mostly a dance skater with couples. We did waltzes and foxtrots and tangos, and when we would do a competition, there were four couples on the floor. And he used to say to myself and my partner, when your wheels hit that floor, you better catch the judge's eye, because otherwise they're going to watch everybody else. So he taught me how to present myself going onto the floor to dance, and it was holding your arms outright and holding your head up, and so there was a lot of that. And then with the shows that we did, and I loved it. I was very competitive, go figure, right? If my brother's watching this, he's going, oh yeah. He's the only other one in my family that was competitive. But it really did help me. So we did that, and then when I started singing again, the first time I sang in public, my mom and I was working with my mom. It was after Shannon was born, and I was working in a hospital with my mom in the kitchen. She was the food service supervisor, and at that time, I think I was her assistant cook. I'd been promoted from tray girl and dishwasher. So we were out one night, and she had me someplace where I probably shouldn't have been, but I was 18. Don't think I was quite 19. And we were there, and there was a performer there. His name was Johnny Oliver, playing guitar and a piano. And he was taking requests, and my mom and I are sitting there watching and stuff, and somebody requested Brand New Key. And he's going, and it was a hit back at that time. And he said, well, I can play it if someone can sing it. And I said, I can sing it, I know it, let me. So he called me up, and I was 18, I think, and I sang that song. So I'm going to do that song right now. I haven't done it. I've told that story quite a few times, but I've never really sang the song. So tonight, we're going to do Brand New Key by Melanie.
Okay. Bear with me, Sonia, how are we doing on with our folks?
Good.
Oh, hi, Diana, Beverly, Diane Eggering, Candy, all in the house, yay. Welcome. Have you seen Tristan?
Not yet.
I
think he has a lot of studying to do tonight.
Tristan has better things to do.
Now. There's nothing he would rather do than to listen to his nana. You know that. You think not?
No.
Okay. Here we go. I rode my bicycle past your window last night. I roller skated to your door at daylight. It almost seems like you're avoiding me. Okay, as long as you got something I need. Oh, I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key. I think that we should get together and try them out to see if they're looking around a while. You got something for me. Well, I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key. I ride my bike, I roller skate, don't drive no car. Don't go too fast, but I go pretty far. For somebody who don't drive, I've been all around the world. Some people say I've done alright for a girl. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I asked your mother if you were at home. She said yes, but you weren't alone. Sometimes I I think we should get together and travel out to sea. I've been looking around the world. You got something for me, love. I got a brand new pair of rose hips. You got a brand new key. Okay. It's been a long time since you heard that song. So I left out a song in between that I forgot. So after the time I did the thing at my junior high school, I also did a talent show with my brother, Larry. He loved music, and he was a Thessalonian, so he did some of the acting, and he played the bass, violin, and guitar, and some other things. And we did a church talent show, and we did Petunia Clark. I'll never forget. We're up there on stage, and I'm like this the whole time. I'm bouncing. He keeps saying, "Stop bouncing, Debbie. Stop bouncing." so doing this song downtown. So let me get that. I need more hands tonight. Here we go. When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go downtown. When you lose worries, all the noise and the hurry needs to help, I know. Downtown, just listen to the music and the traffic in the city. You'll be walking sidewalks where the neon signs are pretty. How can you lose? The night's so much brighter there. You can't forget all your troubles, forget all your cares, and go downtown. Things will be great when you're downtown. No further place for sure. Downtown, everything's waiting for you. Don't hang around and let your problems surround you. There are movie shows downtown. Maybe you know some little places to go to where they never close. Downtown, just listen to the rhythm of a gentle bossa nova. You'll be dancing with them too before the night is over. Happy again. The lights are much brighter there. You can't forget all your troubles, forget all your cares, and go downtown. Things will be great when you're downtown. Waiting for you tonight, downtown. You're gonna be alright now. Downtown, downtown. This song has got to be back memories for those of you in my generation. Downtown. And you may find somebody to help and understand you. Someone who is just like you, who needs a gentle hand to guide them along. So maybe I'll see you there. We can't forget all our troubles, forget all our cares, and go downtown. A little waiting for downtown. Don't wait a minute for downtown. Everything's waiting for you. It's been a long time since I've done that song. So we have, hey, Mike and Kelsey. Kelsey had her nails done today. Not Kelsey, Bella had her nails done today at Kelsey's Nail Salon. They look so pretty. Hi, Bella. Connie. Connie, your mom. And Richard and Dave Hello, guys. And, Marilyn McNamara. She says it's wonderful. Thank you. Appreciate it. So while I think we've got a lot of people on right now, so I think it's time I want to do a happy birthday for Susan Sullivan and Maria Genova. So if everybody out there and here will join me to sing, it was their birthday yesterday, we'll sing happy birthday to them. And I'm going to do a song that Susan had requested for her birthday last week. Okay, are you ready? Everybody sing with me. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Susan and Maria. Happy birthday to you.
Yay!
And many more. Okay, Susan, this song is for you. Hallelujah. I heard there was a secret chord David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty in the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to her kitchen chair, she broke your throne, she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Maybe there's a God above, but all I ever learned from love was how to shoot somebody who outdrew you. Well, it's not a cry that you hear at night, it's not someone who's seen the light, it's cold and it's a broken hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 Happy birthday, Susan. Thank you. Okay. I also want to say a big congratulations to Kelsey. She finished her master's degree this week, and she just applied for a principal's position, and they're waiting to find out if she got it or not. I have no doubt, Kelsey, you're going to get that. I wish you the best, and congratulations. That's a lot of work. And also, that's Bob and Kelly's daughter, and Bob and Kelly's son, Evan, just got accepted to the University of Washington. So great job, and congratulations to both of you. And I also want to give a shout out to Carolyn and Dirk in Las Vegas, where it's still hot. This morning we woke up here, it was only 53 and it was wonderful. I hate to rub that in, but I'm just saying. So I know that you're going to be watching this tomorrow on YouTube, but I want to say hello and let you know that I am thinking about you. Okay, so on with the story. So as we continued through, I sang many songs with Johnny Oliver, and life went on. I had my daughter, and shortly after Shannon turned 3 years old, I moved to Sacramento. I grew up in Southern California, and my sister and her family had moved, and that's where Shannon and I went. During that time, I really didn't sing much, except in the car and at home, but I always had some kind of music and some place to sing a song. As the years went by, I met someone and got married. And during that time, we were living in a small town called Rescue, California. And one night we were at dinner, and we went to, it was at the railroad, what was it called? The Depot. It was a restaurant that's no longer there. And this guy was there playing, one guy, a one-man band, and this was in 1978. You've all seen him perform with me, and he was at our on the road show a few weeks ago playing the saxophone. That person that I met that night at the Depot restaurant was Ed Gibson. And this man was so talented. He could play the Hammond organ, which he had, with his right hand. He would play bass with his right foot, and he could blow saxophone with his left hand. And he could do that. And how he could have his brain going to all these different areas at one time, I had no idea. So the song that I sang for the very first time with him, my brother-in-law had actually gone up and said, could you get my sister-in-law up there to sing? And I had nothing, I didn't know anything about it until I came back from where I was, and he called me up. Well, I didn't say no, because I usually don't say no if somebody asks me to sing. And he's going, well, what do you know? I said, well, I know, a lot of some Marie Osmond and Patsy Cline. Paper Roses was very popular back then. And I said, Blue Bayou by Linda Ronstadt. He said, perfect. Well, I had never sang that song before. So what I said, okay. He asked me, of course, his first question, what key do you do it in? I have no clue. To this day, I have no clue. Because I don't read music. So he's always telling me, even today, he says, Debbie, you need to write these things down. You need to be able to tell people what key you do it in. Well, some of them I know. Most of them, I don't. That's the reason I have a band in the box, because they're already there. And I don't have to worry about that. And besides, it's Gennadi's job and Ed's job to help me figure that out, right? So the very first song I ever sang with Ed Gibson was Blue Bayou. So that is our next song. Ed is out there, I'm sure. And I'll tell you all right now, if it wasn't for Ed Gibson, I would not be doing this today. Because he gave me that first taste of being in a live band and performing for an audience. And I love every moment. Even when I mess up, I love every moment. Not that I ever do that, mind you. And every one of you have seen me have to restart a song or choke up in the middle of a song. Yeah. Fortunately, Ed Gibson's much more professional than I am, and he's never done that. Right, Ed? Kidding. That's kidding. So, here we go. I feel so bad, I got a worried mind. I'm so lonesome all the time. Since I left my baby behind on the blue bayou. Save a nickel, save a dime, working till the sun don't shine. Looking forward to happier times on the blue bayou. I'm going back someday, come what may, to blue bayou, where my thoughts are fine and the world is mine on blue bayou, where those fishing boats with their sails afloat, if I could only see a familiar sunrise through sleepy eyes, how happy I'd be. Gonna see my baby again. Gonna be with some of my friends. Maybe I'll be better again on Blue Bayou. Save a nickel, save a dime, working till the sun don't shine. Looking forward to happier times on Blue Bayou. I'm going back someday, come what may, to Blue Bayou, where my thoughts are fine and the world is mine on Blue Bayou, where those fishing boats with their sails afloat, if I could only see a familiar sunrise through sleepy eyes, how happy I'd be. We had lots of fun in Ed's band. Played at a hotel up in Diamond Springs. It was a short time with the band, maybe, I know, a few months. And then life happened. Without putting by my side, the silver moon and the evening tide. Oh, some sweet day, gonna chase away this burden inside. Well, I'll never be blue, my dreams come true on Blue Thank you. So, like I said, life happened. I got a divorce and I moved to Bakersfield. Yeah, beautiful downtown Bakersfield. Rob and Diane are from Bakersfield, and it's a lovely place. Actually, you know, a lot of people say a lot of stuff about Bakersfield, but I have to tell you, some of the nicest people I've met have been in Bakersfield, and there truly are beautiful areas around the town. When you're on 99 and driving through, you're thinking, oh my Lord, you know, it's not so pretty. But if you get off and go, you know, through Stockdale, and there's so many areas now, it is a nice town, and I have wonderful, wonderful friends and wonderful memories. And two of my children were born there, and my daughter Shannon went to high school there. So for Shannon, it was home. For Brian and Brianna, not so much, but it was a wonderful time. During that time, I worked and I would sing. I took the music and I would used to go to the bowling alley, and Al Garcia was playing. Do you remember Al Garcia? And then they used to play at the bowling alley up there on.
On Mount Vernon?
Yes, that's the one. And I would sing, and I'd go up and ask them, "Can I sing with you?" Sometimes they'd say yes, sometimes they'd say no. When they finally said yes, and I got up and sang, and they realized that I actually could sing, then they let me sing with them quite a bit. I used to also go to Mama Tosca's because they were playing there, and I would sing with them there. During that time, I also had my son Brian, and then I also had my daughter Brianna. I don't know if all of you saw the Facebook post today that I posted the pictures, and you've heard the story about Brianna singing with me when her dad and I got married, but she was like born 3/4 old in that picture. And so it really did bring back memories. I tried to post something of each time period of when I was singing in a band over the years. Well, after Brianna was born, I was going to beauty college and working at a restaurant at the Landmark, and Karen Davenport, who's my dear, dear friend, who, by the way, is a month into having the coronavirus. And I talked to her the other day, and it's the first time in a month where she actually had some strength, but she has been very, very sick, and thank God that she's doing better now. And I hope she's out there. Hi, Karen. I love you, and I will talk to you soon. So I was working at the Landmark restaurant, and they had a guy, Martin, who played in the lounge, and I kept on singing with him. And one night there was a couple guys in there, Jerry Bone and Tommy Hayes. And they used to come, they'd hear me. And one time I went in and Tommy said, "Debbie, would you like to sing in my band?" And I said, "Really?" And I said, "Sure." So we started rehearsing and stuff, and Tommy Hayes is 90 years old. He is one of the very first Bakersfield sound people, and he gave Buck Owens his very first job in Bakersfield. And I'll tell you, to this day, he's picking and playing. He plays out every week still to this day. He is amazing, and I love him and his wife Kim so much. And we had so much fun in that band. And so I'm going to do a couple of songs that we used to do. Needless to say, they're country. Did you say Tina and John and Pops was out there, right?
Yes.
So Tina and John, you'd asked for a Reba McEntire song. And so one of the songs we used to do was a Reba McEntire song. And I'm going to do that. It's called Little Rock. Let me get it queued up. I've got to put it on because I need to change the key. Have the words in front of me because it's been so many years since I did it. I think I know, but who knows? I may forget, I may not. So talk to me, Lisa, and tell me what's going on while I queue up this song.
We are overwhelmed with so many comments. Fabulous, beautiful, thank you.
Oh.
Great new songs. Been a long time since we heard that song. I don't want you to get emotional when I tell you this, but guess who's in the house?
Tommy Hayes.
Tristan.
Oh, hi T. I'm so glad you're here. We missed you. To everybody yell to Tristan, say how much you miss him.
Hi, Tristan. We miss you.
I know.
He's like, hi.
Aww.
And Thor loved the pictures.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thor loved the pictures from Facebook.
Oh, good.
Everyone's just loving it. They're really, really loving it.
Oh, good.
I'm so glad. It's fun. I'm trying to get through it because I should be writing a book, I suppose. But we're getting close to the part where I wrote my song. Okay, so this is Reba McEntire, and this is back in the day when I was singing with Tommy Hayes and his westerns. Western swingsters. We were the, what was her name? I can't think of her name, who was my backup. We were the swingettes. So there is a picture of me. In fact, Tommy Hayes is in that picture. It has this side, and he's right to the left of me with the goatee. So here we go, Little Rock. Married to the good life, said I'd be a good wife when I put on lips and ring. I drive a new Mercedes, I tennis with the ladies, and buy all the fine things. But all that don't mean nothing when you can't get a good night's loving. Oh, little rock, I think I'm gonna have to slip you off. Take your drink tonight and tie the knot. There's more than enough what I got. Well, little rock, you know this heart of mine just can't be bought. I'm gonna find someone who really cares a lot. When I slip off this little rock. Wonder if you miss me, doesn't even kiss me when I put him on it. Never calls me honey, but he sure loves his money, and I'm the one who pays the price. But when he finds this ring, he'll see he keeps everything but me. Oh, little rock, I think I'm gonna have to slip you off. Take a chance tonight and tie the knot. It's more than enough what I got. Oh, little rock, it's all my mind just can't be bought. Gonna find someone who cares a lot when I slip off this little rock. We had a lot of fun in this band, Tommy. I think I'm gonna have to slip you off. Take a chance tonight and tie the knot. It's more than enough what I got. Oh, little rock, you know this heart of mine just can't be bought. Gonna find someone who cares a lot. And I slip off this little rock. Oh, little rock. Little rock. How fun. We also did a lot of this next group. You'll know them. This is for all you grandpas. The Judds. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Sometimes it feels like this world's gone crazy. And Grandpa, take me back to yesterday, when the line between right and wrong didn't seem so lazy. Lovers really thought love to stay, stand beside each other come what may. Jess had a lot of good songs. We played a lot of them in Tommy's band. And we played a lot of good music with Tommy. And Grandpa wandered back into the past. Da-da-da-dum-da-dum. Da-dum. And Grandpa is and paint me a picture of long ago. Lovers really fall in love to stay, stand beside each other, come what may. Promise really something people get, not just something they would say and then forget. Families really bow their heads to pray, and daddies really never go away. Whoa, whoa, Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Whoa, whoa, Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Thank you. All these different things running through my head. I just see you writing over there. What do we have?
There's lots.
Oh my.
Leslie Marks is loving this.
Oh, thanks, Leslie.
When I say everyone, I mean everyone is loving all the new songs. Even Francis said, I'm putting out all new songs. Request, which is really cute. And the song prior, Little Rock, Bella, the little girl, said, hey, that's my school name.
Oh no!
Isn't that cute?
Yes,
Yes, so I think that was really cute. And Tina John Moore is loving it. Joe is saying hi, loving it.
Hi,
Everyone's-
Joe.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Oh, there's more to come right now. So fast forward. I got out of the country band because that's when I met Brianna's dad. And so let me tell you guys, everybody's going about Brianna and stuff. Doug, I met Doug when she was just an infant, well, a toddler. And he adopted her, and I have to tell you, no one could love a child more than he loves her, who's not his own blood. And if you didn't know that he wasn't, you would think that he was. So that's how she sang at our wedding. So, and shortly after that, he did adopt her, and it's been wonderful. So that's to answer any of your questions. You know me, I'm pretty much an open book, and it's a good story. It's a good thing. So I met Doug through Tommy Hayes, and we ended up moving to the coast because he and I decided that that's what we needed to do. And when that happened, of course, I was no longer in the band. Occasionally, I would go and do a show with him, but not very often. But then when we got married, Tommy Hayes, we got married in our home, and Tommy Hayes came over, and of course, they played for the reception. And if you notice one of the pictures on Facebook today, and I told you this when I've had her come up and sing with me, we always do it together. We did this song, 18 Wheels and a Dozen Roses, together. So I'm going to do that song real quick for my little doodle bug, who I love, and I love it when she comes to sing with me. Charlie's got a good bug, and Charlie's had a good life. Okay. I have to start that over, sorry. Charlie's had a good life, and I've got a good one. Okay, well, I'm kind of brain dead on that. We're going to pass. Anyway, we've got a lot more songs to do, and I'm not going to try to struggle finding the words for this song. And I have done this song a gazillion times. I think when Brianna sang with me the last time, we did this song. Okay, scratch that one. Next. I know it happens, right?
That's what's so lovely about the shows.
I know, right?
It's just raw, right?
It just does what it does. Okay, so now we're going to fast forward. Now we get to go to my song. So time goes on, and from Santa Maria we went to Tahoe, and from Tahoe I moved out, and it's Brian and Brianna and I, and once again, I have great weddings, but they just don't seem to work out for me. So, pretty honest, it ended up, again, as you all know, we've talked about this many times in my show. Fortunately, we are still friends, and he still always will be a part of our family. I mean, we have a child, so, and I love his kids as well. When I was in Tahoe in 1999, I was, I still sang. I used to go to the Lone Eagle Grill and sing with Luke, who plays the guitar there, and so the singing never really stopped. I would go to karaoke, I would sing in the house, and I would still sit in with whoever would let me. So I answered an ad one time in 1999, and I auditioned to go to Nashville and do a demo. And I got it. They asked me to go. So in May of 1999, I went to Nashville. First time I had been anywhere ever by myself. And I recorded 3 songs in a live studio with live musicians and the whole deal. It was the most amazing thing. And I spent 3 days. I went from Friday, it was the first weekend in May, and it was beautiful time in Nashville, and it was so exciting. But when I came home and I finally got my demo, I really didn't think much of it. Why? Well, because I still had 2 children at home, and what was I going to do with a demo anyway, especially at my age? Shannon was pregnant with McKay, and so I had my first grandchild coming. And McKay was born in July of 1999. Of course, when I got the demo, I ripped it apart. Going, oh my gosh, this is awful, and da-da-da. Well, then once I started listening to it and adjusting my sound system, I was pleased, considering that I'd never had any voice lessons. I really hadn't been singing like I sing today. It was good. Well, I was the director of operations for a sales training company in Incline Village. And Y2K was coming up, which there's a picture on Facebook with that event as well. And our company was all high tech. We had Landmark, Hewlett Packard, Oracle, Dell. I mean, you name any of the big ones in the Silicon Valley, and they had offices all over the world. So we were international, and we did sales training, and I did all the coordinating for all that. Well, when it came to real close to Y2K, everybody was freaking out. I mean, the world was going to end, right? You're going to lose all your money. You weren't going to be able to pump gas. Nothing was going to work. So all of our seminars were canceled. And with that done, they had started building and built a little bit too quickly, and they ended up having to lay off 10 people, and I was one of them. So when that happened, I could no longer afford to live in Incline Village. So, where did I go? Back to Bakersfield. So I went from an executive back to waiting tables. And it's funny because when I was waiting tables, I was working for my friend Karen Davenport again. She was at the Petroleum Club, and she was the manager, and I was head server in banquets. And so I'm waiting tables and living, doing what I'm doing. And Brianna, when I had to go back to Bakersfield, Brian came with me, but Brianna stayed with her dad and finished her school year there. And then she came back to Bakersfield with me in June. Well, so she came back, and we're getting everything ready for school, and we put her into the parochial school there in Bakersfield. What's the name of that? Garces, yes. And we're getting close to that time that school's going to start, like in July. We're getting everything ready. She comes to me at the end of July, first part of August, and says, "Mom, I really don't want to live in Bakersfield." And I said, "What? You don't want to live in Bakersfield? What's wrong with you?" I figured it was because she was a preemie that, she just didn't really realize what she was saying. I mean, come on. Bakersfield or Lake Tahoe? Is it really a choice? And I was in Bakersfield. Well, I would have chosen Lake Tahoe as well. I understood she wanted to go back to where her friends and stuff were, and Brian was graduating. So Doug and I talked, and we decided, okay, you can go back and go to school and stay and live with your dad. And it was a wow moment for me, because I was like, wow, I can't believe she's deserting me. And she's going, "Oh, Ma, stop right now." So she's watching. McKay is laughing. And, but no, I could totally understand. So, when that all happened, somebody said to me, "Debbie, what are you going to do with no kids in the house?" And I said, "I don't know." And she said, "You should go to Nashville and follow your dream." I said, "I guess I could do that." I was waiting tables again, and I could wait tables anywhere. So I started talking. I just talked to my best friend Brenda, and we were talking about it. And then I called the kids, and I called and I said, and talked to Doug, and I said, "So I'm thinking about going to Nashville and for a short period of time." So after talking with all the kids, we all decided that I would go for 30 days and just see what it was like. Think about this. It was the first time in 31 years that I had not had a child in my home. And I was a single mom, as most of you know, because I was never married very long. I know, right? Don't laugh at me. But I also had my oldest daughter who had been sick so much with her diabetes from the time she became a diabetic at 12, and come 14, it was chronic. And she had a life now in Fresno with her new baby boy and his dad, Mark. And it was the first time that there was someone else that cared for her. And Brianna was taken care of, Brian was taken care of, and it was really a wow moment for me, because I was a single mom at 16, and that's what I've done, is raised kids. So they said, okay, for 30 days. So we got the refund back from Garces. I paid off my car, got it fixed, covered all of my expenses in Bakersfield, and started making the plan for me to drive back. So I'm sitting there a couple of days before the 29th. I'm thinking, how about, about a song? And I was talking to my friend Brenda, and her brother-in-law, Ron Harbin, is a big-time songwriter in Nashville. I said, "Brenda, Ron should write me a song and call it Living Her Dream. She said, yeah, would that be cool? I said, yeah, it really would. I'd never written a song, but I knew what I wanted it to be, Living Her Dream. So that was the hook. So I'm sitting at my desk 20 years ago today, and I got the first line down. And the first line is, she'll be 47 young in 25 days. She's packing her car and going away. And I had the tune in my head, although I couldn't write down the music because I can't read music and I don't know how to do that. But I'm sitting there thinking and thanking God for this opportunity that I get to go. And all of a sudden, all these words just came flowing. And seriously, in 45 minutes, I had my song written. And I went over to Tommy and Kim, and I'm going, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe this, but I wrote a song. And so I'm standing in their foyer, and I'm singing it a cappella to Tommy. He says, Debbie, that's a great song. And so we're planning all this stuff, and Karen at the Petroleum Club, they threw a, what's it called? I don't know, we did an event. It was a send-off, like a showcase. Tommy played the guitar for me and stuff, and I sang that song for the first time at this showcase at the Petroleum Club just before I departed. And it was kind of a fundraiser to get me the funds to be able to take the drive and all that stuff. And I tell you, it was the most incredible journey. I had never driven anywhere across country and never gone anywhere really by myself, other than when I flew to Nashville in May of '99. So it was all very exciting, a little scary, but more exciting than scary. So I'm going to be singing this song, and then I will tell you the rest of the story.
So tell me some more that's going on there, Lisa.
Well, I will tell you Bill Sparkman.
Yes?
He's one of my favorite buddies. He summed up the whole night, and I think he summed up what everyone's saying.
Yes?
The formula is explosive. The venue is perfect. Timing is everything, and you own it. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Bill. That's very special. Okay, so here's my song that I wrote. I can't believe it's been 20 years. 20 years ago today, Living Her Dream. Okay, didn't want to do that. Okay, let's go back. She'll be 47 young in 25 days. She's packing up her car and going away. She's living a dream and dreaming to sing. She's been a mother since the young age of 16 years. She's conquered divorce, worried, heartache, and fear. She's living her dream and dreaming to see. Never before had she been on her own, and caring for families, sometimes all alone. And thought that they would come, she could reach for her dream. Nothing's in her way, no reason to stay. And so she loaded up her car, headed down the road. Highway 40's not a long way to go to be living her dream. She's been dreaming to see her family and friends send her up with their love. Said, honey, you'll be guided by the one up above. Go live your dream. You've been dreaming to see. Never before had she been on her own, and caring for families, sometimes all alone. And thought that it would come, she could reach for her dream. Nothing's in her way, no reason to stay. 40's not a long way to go to be living her dream. She's been dreaming to see her family and friends send her up with their love. Said, honey, you'll be guided by the one up above. Go live your dream. You've been dreaming to see. Go live your dream. You've been dreaming to see. She's living her dream. She's living her dream. Thank you. So, truly, I've gotten my car. It took me 3 days to get there. I drove cross country by myself. I arrived on my 47th birthday with no job, no place to live, and I knew no one. I knew some of the area from when I had been there to do the demo, but I really didn't know anybody. And I started looking for a room to rent. I mean, I had money. I knew I couldn't afford to stay in a hotel for very long. So I had to find a room, right? So I got the paper and I went to the one place I knew and sat there, and I found a room to rent that night. And I drove over to the house. It was in Cool Springs. Not Cool Springs, what am I thinking? It was in Green Hills. And I thought I was in the wrong place. I mean, these houses, I couldn't believe these houses. They were beautiful. And I thought I was lost. So I finally found it, and I was very surprised that it was actually where I was supposed to be. Walked up and I called them and I went and saw it, and I actually moved in that night. And that was a Friday night, and it was my birthday. And the next day, I was with I can't remember the lady or the girl. It was an elderly woman and her daughter who took care of her. And her and I went to dinner on Saturday to celebrate my birthday. And then Sunday, I went to the grocery store to buy a bottle of wine, just because I wanted a bottle of wine. And I walked around the grocery store, and I'm looking, and I finally went to somebody and said, where's your wine? And they looked at me like I was crazy. I had no idea that you couldn't buy wine at the grocery store. I mean, come on, we're in California. What do you mean I can't buy wine? And so that was a lesson learned quick. And so I didn't buy any wine that night, but the next day I went out to look for a job waiting tables. And I found a job the first day at Princeton's Grill in Green Hills, and I started just a couple of days later. So my stay at the house in Green Hills wasn't long-lived. If you never know who you're renting a room for until you're there. So I'm talking to my friends or people I met at work, and this one girl who's also there in Nashville to following her dream. She said, "Hey, Deb, you should come over to the Sunrise House and meet Stacy, Joe, and Lauren. One of the guys is moving out. We're gonna have a room available." I said, "Okay, cool, I'll do that." I already decided that I was probably going to stay longer. I hadn't told my family that yet. So I went over and I met Stacy, Joe, and Lauren, and decided to take the room. And I called home and I said, I think I'm going to stay longer. And some of it was okay, and some of it did not go over very well. But I flew home 30 days later, put everything in storage, and I ended up staying 7 years instead of 30 days. Well, the group of people in this house we call the Sunrise House, Stacy, Joe, Lauren, and we had several roommates before Greg came, but then Greg. They are like family to me, and I love them dearly, and they were my roommates for 5 years. During those 5 years, I went around and I gave my demo to several people. I gave it to the guy who was at Curb Record and all these things, and I went around and sang with ever would let me sing, and I was karaoke queen. So I realized that, you know, music, the industry there is so huge, and there's so many musicians. You can go anywhere you want on Broadway any night of the week, and you're going to have fabulous music. And the musicians, the bands that play at Tootsie's and on the corner and backstage, they don't get paid. Musicians live on their tips. Even Gennady and I. You might get a small pittance from where you're performing, but typically it's the gratuities that keep us alive. So I learned very quickly that if I drop a $20 bill in their tip jar, they let me sing. So I carried 20s. I didn't do this every night of the week because I really was not making that much money. I was waiting tables and had to do double shifts because you know how much they pay servers? $2.15 an hour. I thought they were kidding me when they first told me that. I was shocked, but they were serious. So I would go downtown and I would sing with whoever I could, and it was wonderful. We had these great parties, wine tasting parties. They weren't tasting, they were actually wine parties. And we had musicians and executives and songwriters, and they would last till the wee hours of the morning because there's a steamboat, the General Jackson, it's a showboat, and it would end at like 11 o'clock, and all of them would come to the house after the show. Those are some of the most memorable years of my life, and it was the first time that anybody knew me as Debbie. My last name then was Eddie, so it was the first time anybody knew me as just Debbie Eddie, and not Shannon's mom, or Brian's mom, or somebody's ex-wife. I was just Debbie. And I really never realized that I had never really got to know who I was. I knew how to make everybody happy, but I really didn't know what really made me happy, because I was somebody's mom for as long as I could remember. And it was the journey within. I did not perform like I dreamed, but I learned who I was and met amazing people and learned so much about the industry. 7 years later, finally in October of 2007, I decided it was time to come home. And I did. When I came home in October of 2007, I moved in with Brianna and her fiance then, and I stayed with her a year. That was a payback for her deserting me, I'll get you for that. So, she's wonderful. And in fact, it was them who said, Mom, you need to come stay with us. I said, okay. When the first night I got here, she said to me, Mom, you need to go to Carmel. And I said, well, why, honey? And she said, I just see you there. Well, we went to Carmel one night, but it was so dark, it didn't mean anything to me. I didn't go back to Carmel until May of 2008. And I went there for a chamber, went to Carmel to a chamber event and drove down Scenic and saw all these houses and fairy tale roofs. And I'm going, I love this place. Not to mention the ocean. And I went home and told Brianna, I'm going to move there. Well, I had met a friend who had been trying to get me to go to the Mission Ranch, I don't know, for 6 months probably, and I'd never gone. So that same week, I went to the Mission Ranch for the first time. And I sang with Madeline, and it was wonderful. I didn't go, and then I went back on Monday, I believe, when Gennady was there. And I sang with Gennady for the very first time. And first song I sang was Crazy. He's going, oh, dear, do some more. Are you coming back? So I started going. I was at the Mission Ranch every night Gennady was playing practically. And through the time went on, and I had no idea what I was going to do. So I put my resume out on Craigslist, and I knew I wanted to be in Carmel. And somebody called me and asked for my full resume, and then they hired me. And this is like in August. My daughter was getting married in August, And so I knew I had to find a place by then. And I'm singing all the time with Gennady and stuff, and he kept saying, Debbie, get us a gig. I had no idea what he was saying. Then I realized it was, get us a gig. And so I wasn't even living there yet, and I didn't have a job. Well, then I got this opportunity, and I started working for Dan Swigan, who was a project manager with Microsoft, and we were working for S.C. Johnson. They were doing some outsourcing, and that gave me enough to be able to move to Carmel. And the first place I looked, on Craigslist, by the way, I rented. My landlady she was amazing. I told her my story, told her what I had. Says, seriously, before I got my job, and when I found my place that I still live in today, which has been 12 years, I had $250 to my name. And I told her, I said, this is all I have. And she said, Debbie, if you want it, it's yours. And I'm going, oh, thank you, thank you. And I had no furniture, no nothing, because when I came back to California, nothing. I just what was fit in my car. And it's funny because when I was in Nashville, I used to say, you know, what I need is a wonderful pianist and a beautiful room to dress up and sing beautiful songs. And if I ever move back to California, I'm going to live on the coast. That's pretty much how it happened. So I moved into my little place, and that is on September 15th, 2008. In December, I'm at the Mission Ranch singing with Gennady, and Denny Levette comes in. And Denny Levette owns the Cypress Inn. He comes up to me and introduces himself. He goes, hi, I'm Denny Levette, and I'd like you to sing at the Cypress. I said, really? So I said, okay, I'll do that. So I did. I sang it first time at the Cypress. It was during the holidays in 2008. Gennady did not play with me. It was Dick Whittington. And it was different, but I was there. Then a year goes by, and it's the AT&T. No, actually, it was in 2009. In 2009, Denny contacted me. He said, Debbie, are you still singing? And I said, yeah. He says, well, I think I'd like you to sing at the Cypress during AT&T. Could you do that? I said, sure. So I asked Gennady, and he said, yeah. And we sang on Valentine's Day during the AT&T. It was a Sunday. Another year goes by, it's AT&T, and Kenny calls up and says he'd like us to sing again at the Cypress. And we did. And then we have been there for 10 and a half years. Although we're not there right now, we're waiting for that opportunity when everything opens up again. But in that living room, for those, there are some, I mean, Bill and Terry, we met you right after that. I met you right after that when you were there. And truly, what I do in the living room at the Cypress Inn is what I have dreamed about all my life. And I believe without a doubt, it was what I was born to do. The music healed my soul. It put my life in perspective, knowing what it is that you're supposed to do. So few people get the opportunity to really know that. But I know there is a purpose for every one of us, and I know what I do there is my purpose, and it's my love, it's my passion. And so I went to Nashville to follow my dream, but I live my dream here in Carmel by the sea, and I am so grateful and so blessed to have shared it with so many people. The first time I sang my song, Living Her Dream, it was the 10-year anniversary, and I had recorded it a cappella so Gennady could put the music to it. And I debuted it at the Cypress Inn. And now I get to tell you the story 20 years later. So that is the story of how this song happened. And do I have have another song in me? Maybe. Maybe not. My friend Lauren Floyd in Nashville, she is the most amazing songwriter. She's got a beautiful voice, and she just puts these songs out. It's just so incredible. And I'm not, maybe that's just not my calling. And that's okay. Because what I do for all of you and for myself is so intimate. I don't think I'm looking to go on stage or tour. I like the intimacy that we all have, getting to know each other by our first names and celebrate our birthdays and our anniversaries and so much. And so many of you have shared so much of my life. And I appreciate all of you very much. So with that, we're going to do another song. Do you have anything to tell me first?
We have lots of doggies loving the show.
Doggies?
Yes, and I have to, Diane, I love her so much. Betancourt, she keeps telling us that Brianna's loving it. We have,
Sorry.
it's okay, we have Valerie's, Lily and Missy.
Uh-huh.
We have Happy, we have Baxter and Pugsley, and we have Phoebe and Lily.
Oh.
And I'm just overwhelmed with the comments. Everyone is just, here's from Bob and Kelly, and I know they're speaking for everyone. Lucky for us, we found you, and you're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you're beautiful, you, and your beautiful music. We all
Thank
feel
you.
the same way, and it's just touching. I'm just really overwhelmed, actually, tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do some songs that I've done with Gennady, and songs you're familiar with, and stuff, and that's what we're going to do right now. And I'm going to do this first song, and I'm doing it for Bill and Terry, because I haven't seen them for a while. Here we go. I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree, and I feel like I'm clinging to a cloud. I can't understand. I get misty just holding hand. And 1,000 violins begin to play, or it might be the sound of your hello, the music I hear. I get misty the moment you're near. You can say that you leave, wander down the lonely road alone, never knowing my right foot from my left, my hat from my glove. I'm too misty and too much in love. This also goes out to Carol and Jeffrey in Phoenix. They're watching. It's one of Carol's favorites. You guys have met them. You'd know them if you saw them.
Oh, yeah.
They have the big dog, I can't think of his name right now. You can say that you're leading me on, but it's just what I want you to do. Don't you notice how hopelessly I'm lost? That's why I'm following you. On my own. When I wander down that lonely road alone, never knowing my right foot from my left, my hat from my glove. I'm too misty and too much in love. I'm too misty and too much in love. Walk my way. Thank you. Thank you. And then we have songs that Gennady and I always did. We did the Grammy winners. Is it Grammys that they get for music?
Yeah, the Grammy.
Is it a Grammy? I don't
I
know
had
what
to
it
think
is.
about that for a
So
second.
I know it's Rolling in the Deep with Adele. We started doing that. Need You Now from Lady Antebellum, and then of course Shallow. So we're going to do Need You Now, because it was before Rolling in the Deep. For you, Donna. Picture perfect memories scattered all around the floor. Written for fun, 'cause I can't find it anymore. And I wonder if I ever cross your mind. For me it happens all the time. Everybody, it's a quarter after one. I'm all alone and I need you now. Said I wouldn't hard, I lost all control and I need you now. And I don't know how I can do you now. I just need you now.
You can dance.
Another shot of whiskey, can't stop looking at the door. Wishing you come sweeping in the way you did before. And I wonder if I ever cross your mind. For me it happens all the time. It's a quarter after one. I'm all alone and I need you now. Said I wouldn't call, but I lost all control and I need you now. And I don't know how I can do without. I just need you now. just need you now. And I need you now. And I need you now. I just need you now. Thank you. Get that loaded. Okay, fine, we'll do this one. Obviously, I'm supposed to. This makes Diane happy. Mississippi in the middle of a dust belt. Jimmy Rogers on the Victrola Eye. Mama Stinson, baby, on her shoulders. The sun is setting like molasses in the sky. The boy is telling you how to move and think. I was wanting more. He leave you longing for. And I felt it in nothing but a smile. And I felt it in so southern style. New religion that'll bring us to your knees. Like velvet if you please. Up in Memphis, the music's like you play. White lightning, shoulder drive by. Mama's baby's the heart of every school girl. In Glory Tender's gone crying in the eyes. The way he moved it was a sin so sweet and true. Always wanting more, he'd leave you longing for. Like velvet and nothing but a smile. Like velvet in slow southern style. New religion that'll bring us to your knees. Like velvet if you please. Every word of every song I sang was for you. In a flash, he was gone. It happened so soon. What could you do? Like velvet and nothing but a smile. Like velvet in slow southern style. New religion will bring us to your knees. Like velvet if you please. Like velvet and nothing but a smile. Like velvet in slow southern style. New religion will bring us to your knees. Like velvet if you please. If you please. If you please. If you please. Woo! Okay. Okay, so we're gonna. It's 7:45. How are we doing? Anything else?
Oh, we're having a blast. Love you, love you, love you from Kathy Ruby, the Chow Chows. Hello from Nicole McCullum.
Mhm.
She is a fellow Carmel.
Oh, okay.
Carmelian? I don't know.
Carmelite?
Carmelite. Okay. She's like, just keep doing what you do. You were so brave to pack up and start a new life. Everyone's just.
Thank you.
Everyone.
You know,
It's just
it was
great.
really, I mean, it was, you know, here's what I learned. Here's what I've learned. When you have nothing to lose, you take more chances. But I also learned that if you don't take chances, you don't get where you want to be. And, you know, fear is something that holds so many people back. And I tell you, through all that I have been through in my life, there have been lots of fears, lots of challenges, and lots of things to overcome. But I have to say, I have a very strong faith. And I know, without a doubt, that everything that has happened, the way things fell into place, the way the song was channeled through me, it is by divine intervention. And I believe that me showing up and ending up doing what I do in Carmel, there's no way I would ever chosen Carmel by the Sea to live in. I mean, there's no way I would ever have thought I could do that. The only thing I knew about Carmel by the Sea is my sister had her honeymoon there 56 years ago. So, but I had made plans to come here, but it never happened. So, if you can conquer the fear, you can do just about anything. And if you ask for guidance, it will be delivered. And for me, it's about the faith that I have that has seen me through so much. And what I have is a gift. And I don't believe we're given a gift that we're not supposed to share. So it's my privilege and honor to be able to share it with you, because God definitely shared it with me. And I'm very fortunate and grateful for the opportunity to even have an audience to be able to sing to that like me. I mean, you know, it's like, oh wow, they like me. It's fun. This is really cool. So, with that said, I have an announcement to make. You know, so many of you have followed me throughout the years, and I'm thinking, you know, there's so much going on in 2020. It's, 20 years exactly to this day that I wrote this song. 20 years that I went to Nashville. There's just something, you know, somebody said something about it being 2020 is the time to get a vision. You know, it's 2020's vision. So maybe we're supposed to find something out with all the stuff that's going on. I don't know. I know that we are going to come through this and we're all going to be better for it. I don't know how, and I don't know in which way. I just believe that to be the truth. Through these last few years, you all know Tristan, and through the 10 and a half years that I've been at the Cypress, all of you have gone through many things with me. You went through my daughter's open heart surgery. You went through birthdays. I've celebrated anniversaries and watched little kids grow up. The last break I took was in 2013 when I went to Italy for my 60th birthday. These last few years have been so busy for me. After Tristan came to live with me, he's been there with me for going on 4 years now, and he's now off to college. I hadn't had a child in my home for 17 years, and I changed my whole world around, and so grateful that I had that opportunity. It has been nothing but a true blessing to have him with me, and I miss him dearly. But it's been a lot of work, and everything I do in my life, I plan it around my nights I get get to entertain and sing for you, sing for myself. And I'm getting a little tired. Shannon, my daughter, as many of you know, she passed away 2.5 years ago. So not only have I been helping Tristan get settled into college, but my grandson, McKay, who's moving out of the home that he grew up with his mom. So I'm in the midst of helping him go through all of her things. And it's a lot. I didn't even take a break when my beautiful daughter passed away. I sang the night she died, and it was probably one of the best shows ever. The house was full, and it is exactly what she would have wanted. I decided that I'm going to take a couple of weeks off. I'm not going to go away. I'm just going to take the next 2 Saturdays off and return on September 19th. So I can rejuvenate and create. During this time, I have something for you all to do. I'm going to choose 5 of my favorite live videos and post them, and I want you to vote on which one you like the best. I also would like you to choose your favorite songs and let me know. So I'm not going away, and I will be checking in on Facebook with you. So make sure to post and look for that. And don't give up your Saturday night date night. Plug into YouTube or Facebook. This is our 25th show. So you'll have 25 videos to watch. And so don't stop. Just watch the reruns. So, and do the voting. I will post more on that tomorrow and the next day and get those 5 videos posted so you can vote on them. I have to decide which ones I think are the best, so, and go from there. I hope you understand that I just need a little bit of time to rest. And it's been an emotional time having Tristan go to college. And you go through my daughter's things and stuff, so I just need to get my home in order after, tearing it apart for Tristan to come and now putting it back together. And so I'm looking forward to it, but now that I will be thinking of you and posting with you. The next 2 songs I'm going to do are songs that mean a lot to our shows that we've done at the Cypress. First one I'm going to do is A Wonderful World. And I want to dedicate that to Olive, our dancing queen. A lot of you remember Olive and Mr. Brown. And then I'm going to close the show with My Way, which I will dedicate to my daughter Shannon, because she truly lived life her way. And she lived it 18 years longer than any doctor ever gave her. So with that, I hope you understand and know that my heart is with you, and I'm not going away. So keep in touch, and then look for me back live on September 19th, just before my birthday. Okay, so here we go. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, they're on the faces of people passing by. I present, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. Now I'm much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. It really is a wonderful world. Even with all the stuff going on, we can find the wonderful things if we look for things always from a place of love. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, they're on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watched them grow. They learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Thank you. Okay, this is going to be our last song tonight. I want to say goodnight to everybody. See you in 2 weeks. I want to say hello to John, since I hadn't mentioned him all night. He will not be happy with me. Hi, John. Hope you're having a good evening. I will miss you, and I will keep in touch via Facebook. Send me your messages. Send me your thoughts. Send me a new song you might like me to learn while I'm creating. And I will say goodnight with My Way but I want to ask Lisa what she has to say, or what you have to say.
Well, I have an individual who's asked me to read this
Okay,
out loud
okay.
from Rosemary Rawcliffe.
Radcliffe?
Rad-
Rosemary, okay.
Rawcliffe?
Radcliffe. Okay.
Oh, Radcliffe?
Yes.
It's R-A-W?
Oh, it's Rawcliffe. Okay.
Rawcliffe.
So this is Rosemary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Debbie has been living her dream for 20 years without a break. Tristan is out of the nest, there's no Cypress Inn, and now she runs around every week finding a way, Seymour, to do this for us. And now she's doing it in the middle of the blazing inferno that is California. Smoke is not good for the lungs and vocal cords. It's time for a new dream, and that includes taking a break to see what that might look like. For Debbie to do that, she needs to be solvent. I'm guessing that $5,000 would help her take a 2 to 3 week break, and we'll start the ball rolling by matching the first 500 raised tonight.
Wow. Okay. Would you read that again? I mean,
Everyone loves you.
wow.
You've done so much for everybody in so many ways, in more ways than I think sometimes we don't know that you've done for us. It's sometimes you reflect back and you go, that's what she's done. And we're just in awe of you. We love you. You've just brought nothing but light and honesty and rawness and clarity. And even though it's been a doom and gloom, you your Saturday nights have just pulled the doom and gloom to just as if nothing's going on. And even though it's like an hour and a half, it just feels like a lifetime. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know, it's I know, you know, we do this setting up and stuff, and those who are involved with this, doing it, and who have hosted the show, right, Alice? They get to see all the behind the scenes. I mean, running around during the week and working on songs and warming up my voice and working in my garden and doing my laundry and moving kids and running here and running there. But I tell you, I get so much pleasure from it myself. And it is as much of a blessing to me as I hope it is to you. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
And I just want you to know, loads and loads of people are thanking you as host tonight. Beautiful venue, beautiful everything, and they just want to thank you for having Debbie.
It is.
Good.
Alice and Dawn have been, how long have I known you? For a long time.
I think 9 or 10.
9 or 10 years. They have a beautiful home here on the lagoon, close to the Mission Ranch, and I mean, it's beautiful. We're hoping to be back here in October when we can. The weather is a little bit warmer. I know it's October. You'd think it'd be now, but it's not. And have it outside so you can see the beauty. And yes, thank you so much for hosting us. It's been beautiful. I mean, I don't even want to go home. So, I will, I promise.
I have one more.
Okay, one
Just
more.
one more, only because this individual has chimed in several times.
Okay.
And I want him and what he's saying to be acknowledged.
Okay.
It's Gregory Brooks Woodruff.
Oh, Gregor.
Yes, he's 3 times. I love Debbie. Wine memories.
Oh, yeah.
So I just wanted, you know, he's
Thank
chimed in
you.
so many times. I thought, you know what, he needs to be heard.
Okay, so Gregor, was one of my roommates at the Sunrise House in Nashville. Oh, he moved in with Stacy, Joe, and Lauren and I when he was 20. On September 15th, he's turning 40. So I kind of adopted him, and I taught him to cook. I taught him about red wine. I taught him how to hang wallpaper, paint walls, and he has grown into the most amazing man. And he is very close with Tristan. He's known Tristan since he was 8 months old. And he's been kind of a mentor to Tristan as Tristan's finding himself. And I love him like I would a son. So Gregor, I love you too. And Stacy, Joe, and Lauren as well. Thank you so much. And thank you all for your kind words. And Rosemary, thank you. Thank you very much for that. I so appreciate your kind words and your encouragement. She's an amazing woman that I met a couple years ago, and it's such an honor to have her on my playing field. So she's given me great ideas, and I'm so grateful. So with that said, I'm going to close the evening out with the song My Way. I'm going to dedicate this to my beautiful daughter, because she did live life her way, in a way that the doctor said she never could. And of course for me, I've definitely done things my way, and it's been an amazing journey. And I so look forward to the rest of the journey. So with that, I will say goodnight after that, and thank you all again for being here. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friends, I'll see it clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I've turned each and every highway and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets, oh, I had a few, then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do. I saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway. Oh, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall, and did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried. I've had my fill, my share of losing. And now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, not me. I did it my way. For what is a woman? What has she got? If not herself, then she's not. To say the things she truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. Let the record show I took the blows and did it my way. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much. I will be back on September 19th. And in the meantime, keep me posted on Facebook and I will do the same. I will be posting those 5 favorite videos in the next day or so and giving you instructions. I look forward to your replies, your suggestions, your song requests for me to learn. And I will see you on September 9th. Thank you so much. I love you. Take care. Be safe. Be healthy. And God bless. Good night.